In this video, I will be explaining one of the most comfortable airport express services in the English-speaking world, Stepford's Airlink service. Airlink currently operates 11 routes, calling at 14 different stations. 9 of these routes aren't really routes, they're mostly different service patterns. However, I'll still cover them as routes because this is how SCR labelled them. The other 2 routes are the terminal shuttle routes, one to Morganstown and one to Hampton Hargate. I'll explain these in a dedicated segment along with the whole shuttle service. So, let's get right into it. We're starting with the one thing that can make or break an airport express operator, and that is the trains. No one's going to take the airport express if it doesn't provide a fast and comfortable journey to the airport. Fair warning, there will be a lot of IET slander here, so if you've had enough of the trains at any point, feel free to skip to this timestamp. The majority of Airlink's trains are electric, except for the Class 185. Why this is, nobody knows, especially when the 360 is basically the same train but longer and electric. However, the 185 is still a relatively comfortable and fast train, best used for semi-fast services, not express but also not full stopper services. The Class 332 is next in line. This train is a bit older but still features relatively comfortable seating. The train's speed is nothing to scoff at, and it was actually used on the Heathrow Express IRL before being ditched for Electrostars. Also, Fishbowl! The 360 is another train that used to serve the Heathrow Airport Connect in real life. Since then, it's been moved to operating on the East Midlands Railway. It's a heavy boy, although this means it won't encounter any wheel slip issues. It's relatively comfortable, but I despise 3+2 seating. The first train that goes over 100 miles per hour is the Class 387 Electrostar, and I think it might be a disappointment to its mother. Although it's the workhorse of London Airport Expresses and the Brighton Main Line IRL, its seating offers a number of issues, namely the fact that they're basically ironing boards. Thankfully, there's no 3+2 seating, but the sitting experience could definitely be better, especially for an airport express train. The Class 397 is, shall we say, questionable. It's made by a company that is blacklisted by the United Nations for working with Israel in occupied Palestinian territories. I don't want to get involved in politics, but that doesn't sound good. The comfort of the seats is decent, and the trains actually go up to 125 miles per hour, making them really viable on the airport central and terminal express patterns. The Class 745 is a Stadler flirt that sees regular use on Airlink. It's the longest train by coach number at a whopping 12 coaches. Wow. The seats are comfortable, it features USB charging, it accelerates fast, and overall it's just a monster. The 755s are the same, but they're shorter, so they occasionally suffer from overcrowding. These trains could be moved off Airlink and given to Connect semi-fast services, as the 745 is basically the same but better and longer, so no overcrowding problems. Also, these trains could utilize their bi-mode feature properly on Connect, at places such as Rayleigh Bay and Whitefield, rather than completely wasting the bi-mode. And now we have finally reached the ITs. So get ready for some slander. First off, it's an Intercity Express train. That's not running an Intercity service. I might have actually been a fan of these trains if it actually bothered to invest in some seat padding. This is the Ryanair of Airlink. Cheap, fast, but you'll be leaving with chronic back pain, scoliosis, and in the event of an emergency brake application, broken ribs and a wheelchair. Then you'll be thrown straight onto the non-wheelchair accessible Class 156 at Leighton Stepford Road. Also, why the need for a bi-mode train on Airlink? Surely the Class 801 or 803 would have been the better option here, or the Class 807, because it's also an EMU, but it also has 7 cars, so less overcrowding problems. Now that we're done with slandering the ITs, let's get to Airlink's right-of-way. Airlink primarily runs along the existing main line via Morganstown, sharing tracks with Stepford Express and certain connected semi-fast services. Upon arriving into the airport, the trains switch onto dedicated purpose-built Airlink-only tracks to cover the airport terminals. These tracks are mostly Airlink exclusive, with a few exceptions. While nothing stands out in particular, some of the more beautiful stations include Stepford Central, London Bridge, Stratford, Leighton Stepford Road, Coventry and Gatwick Central. And of course the airport terminals, because these are honestly really amazing, especially Heathrow Terminal 4, Airport Terminal 1. I just have one question for Transport for Stepford. Why, in the name of all that is holy, does Airlink operate Ellesmere Junction? Someone at Transport for Stepford was clearly snorting too much nose candy when they came up with that. Now, we shall discuss Airlink's regular routes. Well, actually there's two routes, there's one from Leighton and one from Stepford. The rest is all just different service patterns, but I'll still cover the 9 mainline Airlink routes according to the SCR website. The first is R051, which is a very simple line, a direct express from Stepford Central to Airport Central with no intermediate stops. This is honestly a classic airport express line, it takes about 9 minutes to complete. The next line is R052, which is R051, but extended to Terminal 2 via Terminal 1. This route is also another classic airport express line. I honestly don't know what to say. R053 is the stopper version of 52, stopping at Stepford East, Ellesmere Junction, Morganstown, and then from Airport Central to Terminal 2, just like its express counterpart. Very nice line. R054 is the stopper version of 51, which is borderline confusing. Why not place them next to each other or something? Anyways, R054 stops at St Helens Bridge and Morganstown. However, when going toward the airport, it stops at Beverley, being the only Airlink and express route to do so. This is honestly interesting, particularly the lack of reason as to why they haven't made it a stop in both directions. This feels like having a one-way stop just for the sake of having a one-way stop. If the one-way stop was something more believable, I'd get it, but a major interchange station with 5 platforms is not deserving of a one-way Airlink stop. It's deserving of a two-way Airlink stop. R055 goes from Stepford Central to Airport Terminal 3, stopping at Stepford East, Airport Parkway, Airport Central, and then heading to Terminal 3 via Terminal 2. I again don't have anything to say here, so let's move on to R056, from Airport Central to Leighton Stepford Road, stopping at Airport Parkway. This is one of the 2 Leighton link routes, and it's a fast and reliable connection to Leighton Stepford Road. I would have previously asked why it doesn't go to Leighton City, but it's kinda grown on me. R057 is also Leighton link line, going from Terminal 3 this time. It stops at Terminal 2 to turn around, then it also stops at Airport Central and Water Newton, being the only Airlink and express route to do so. It's quite a nice stop. R058 is back on the main line, and it goes from Stepford Central to Terminal 3, however this time via Terminal 1, stopping at St Helens Bridge and Morganstown. Very nice. And finally R059, from Stepford Central to Terminal 2, stopping at St Helens Bridge, Ellesmere Junction, Airport Parkway and Stepford Central, before going straight to Terminal 2. It's worth noting that Airlink trains almost never stick to their routes for an entire shift, unlike Waterline and Metro. These routes are basically just different service patterns, and it's common to see, say, a 755 doing an express service to Airport Central, but doing a stopper service back to Stepford Central, or vice versa. Airlink also has a separate service known as the Airlink Shuttle, designed to take passengers between the airport terminals. This service is completely free and uses 7-car Class 345 trains, the same trains that are used by Crossrail. It also has a lot more standing room than a typical Airlink train. For a while, these trains only ran between Airport Parkway and the terminals. However, in the early days of January 2026, they were finally extended beyond the airport area. The original R060 was extended to Morganstown, and a new route was introduced called R063 to Hampton Hargate. This finally allows the Class 345 to operate two different services. Areas of improvement. To be honest, unlike Waterline, I don't see many areas where Airlink could improve itself, aside from, say it with me, ditching the IETs. Seriously, these trains are not meant for Airlink. It's absolutely ridiculous. Their acceleration is frankly shit. They're being used for no reason. The seats are just uncomfortable. The doors are somewhat tight. Just get rid of them already! Overall, Airlink is a great operator, connecting Stepford's airport to the rest of the county in a fast and reliable way, with mostly comfortable and fast trains, except for, of course, the IETs. Overall, I'd give this operator an 11 out of 10, because orange is my favourite colour. If you disagree, you can politely go fuck. Thank you so much for watching this video. Big thanks to my channel members whose names you can see on screen. Make sure to join the Discord server, like, subscribe, and if you haven't clicked off, please share your thoughts on the Great Western Main Line in the comments section. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.